Sometimes people will look at you crazy when they see that you're by yourself, alone, right? And you want to work hard in isolation. But see, sometimes it's good to work hard in isolation, that you can focus, that you have a sharper vision, you're able to think clearly, no distractions, nobody really in your ear like that. It's better to fly solo for the sake of no distractions, a clear mind. You can think clearly, and there's very minimal distractions in your life. And sometimes you get around certain people that are not of good influence. And when you're around people that are not of good influence, let alone of good character, then it's better for you to be alone for a period. I'm not saying your entire life, but how you do things in your life, you may have to do it alone. When it comes to your own problems, when it comes to your own trauma, all you have is yourself probably. You may have yourself only. When it comes to my addiction to corn, I've only told one person on a telephone. You know, through the instructions of the Bible, you want to confess your sins onto other people. Confession. And that's what I did. I entrusted somebody with that information. Whether if they go back and tell other people, it is what it is, right? But like, there's not many people for me that I can, really talk to and open up about things that happened to me in my life. I only got y'all, this audience, right? My small audience on YouTube, to tell y'all certain things. But when it comes to people in real life, there's not many. Like, there are certain things I don't even tell my mother. I tell her a lot, but I don't tell her everything. Like, you probably got family, like your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother. You tell them a lot of things, but there are things you don't want them to know. There are things that you don't want them to hear, to be informed about. There are certain things that you're just going to take to the grave, to be honest, right? And because I say that to say there is resilience in flying solo, right? Being by yourself and dealing with your own issues, dealing with your own deficiencies, dealing with your own problems, and not emotionally dumping on other people for them to always be there for you, right? There's strength in standing alone on your own 2 feet without a safety net by your side all the time and constantly, right? There's no safety net that's saving you from the fall from the building. Sometimes you got to fall off that building and fall face first down on the pavement. It got to be like that sometimes. That when you fall, there's not going to be a soft landing. There's not going to be anybody to catch you when you fall. The reality of life is sometimes when you fall off a building, there is no one going to catch you. How many of y'all have experienced that? Where you fall off a building, you hit rock bottom, there's nobody to really catch you. There's no one to give you the soft landing. There's no one to be that safety net for you. But in that process, in falling on that pavement and, hitting rock bottom, you have grown to be resilient. You have grown to be stronger from that experience, right? Confirm that in the comment section if you're someone that has been through the roughest of times, hardships, and there was really no one there to guide you out of that storm. Through the grace of God, through a miracle of the Most High, You managed to be resilient. You managed to get past the storm. You managed to survive. It did not break you, right? You were not defeated. You didn't let your rock bottom, you didn't let your past, you didn't let your addictions, you didn't let your trauma define who you are. None of those things define you because you moved past those things, right? You stuck it out all this time without little help, without little assistance from people. And that's okay if that's you. Just understand there's true strength in walking it alone and standing on your own two feet, being able to stand alone, to deal with your own problems, to not always have a safety net. Having a safety net is good to have, and friends and family support system, community, all that, right? But how much of that can you truly depend on when life gets really hard? Because life is not what it was back in the day. People, humans in general, are not who they once were back in the day. Like who they are now, they was not like that in the 1990s or 80s or 70s or 60s. Like, you know, people were actually people back in the day, even before the 2020s. You know, people were still somewhat people. But now, like, people are changing for the worse, right? A lot of people, they only think about themselves and their own interest and what they want to gain from a situation. They think about what's best for them. You know, one thing that I really learned about myself last year was that I have humility in helping others in need. If I see a woman and she's thirsty and she ain't got no water, she's been out in the hot sun for hours and hours. You know, if I have a bottle of water, I'm gonna roll down my window. I don't care if there's any traffic behind me. I don't care if there's cars behind me honking their damn horn at me. I'm gonna stop the car, roll down my window, and I'm gonna hand the bottle of water to that woman that's in need. And that's what I did. I have displayed acts of humility and empathy throughout my life last year. And that's something that was developed in me, was humility. Something that a lot of people seem to be lacking is humility. And guess what? There were people honking their horn behind me because I was holding up traffic for a split second. But I was like, I don't care. I'm going to make sure that this woman does not go thirsty for another day. So, regardless, I felt that what I did was the right thing. You know, for the people that honked their horn at me, I question if they got humility or not. I question if they got a pure heart. If they would have done the exact same thing, most likely they would not have. They would have just kept driving past the woman, you know, holding up the sign saying I'm in need, of food, water, whatever, money. And so it's just, when it comes to people that need more, that are struggling, and you see them struggling, you just got to have a heart, man, to help out. It don't matter if you have little or more, do what you can. Because showing humility goes a long way. Showing hospitality goes a long way. You know what I'm saying? And so, for the people that left your life, for the people that betrayed you, for the people that turned their back on you, and you had nothing but humility, you had nothing but empathy for these people, you had nothing but good intentions, and they still turn a blind eye to you. They still put the knife in your back. Understand, they lost a gold mine in you. It's not your loss. it's their loss, right? And you're probably in a point in a season where you're having a hard time trusting anyone, and you can't really see who is true and who is real or not. So you got your guard up a little bit, you got your wall up, and you're not quick to just, give your trust to people out of the blue. It's like people got to earn that. They got to earn that trust, right? So it's like being by yourself, it may have to be for a season, for probably even more of a season. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's good to be alone, but I'm saying like there's resilience, there's strength in being alone. And not just being alone, but being able to do things without the help of other people, right? To, be self-efficient. Not self-efficient, self-sufficient. There's no wrong being self-sufficient. Because the Most High gave you a brain, He gave you 2 hands, He gave you legs, He gave you a working body. He didn't just put you on this earth for people to do things for you. You got to learn to do for yourself before other people can do for you.